Okay, this regular meeting on Wednesday, August 14th, 2024 will come to order. Everyone's had a chance to read the last minutes at the Cheat Lake meeting. Any corrections or objections?
I was not able to attend, so I
Nor did I.
moved by what I read.
So we got two people here, or three, to testify?
Well, Eric was there.
Well, Eric, yes. Eric,
Yeah.
any comments on the minutes of the last meeting?
No.
Okay. Then I need a motion.
I move to approve the minutes for the regular meeting of July 9th, 2024 as submitted.
Second.
All right. Hearing no corrections or objections, all in favor say aye.
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 All right, anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right, we have the public portion. Is there anyone here who would like to speak to the board?
I would not like to speak.
Okay. But we welcome those who are here in the public to our meeting. Thank you. New business, we have none. Lots of old business. The first being the Cheat Lake wastewater treatment plant upgrades.
Okay, so the project is moving along. We have cleared, I believe, our biggest hurdle. We have received approval from the United States Army Corps of Engineers. We will proceed under their nationwide permit program. As part of our permit with the Corps, we are required to purchase mitigation credits. Right now, we've spent $150,000. I believe we will be purchasing more credits because of the deed to the state public lands. So we'll have to probably do something there as well, which I think will be relatively soon. I don't think we've nailed that number down yet, Jeff. I'm not 100% sure that we have. So, we're moving forward with permits. Jeff has the preliminary title opinion ready to go. We have the draft of the rate ordinance moving forward. It's ready to go. We met with the DEP, the WDA, and WDA's council on Monday afternoon, finalizing our checklist for what we will need for a binding commitment of funds and for authorization to advertise for bids. So we are getting there, I think, quickly. I think it's safe to say, Jeff, it was a very good meeting. It was a very positive meeting. They certainly want to see all the projects with ARPA fund commitments to move forward. Right now, as we reported at the last board meeting, we were making an assumption right now that the bids will come in within the engineer's estimate for construction. We do have a anticipated 91% increase in rates should those bids come in within estimate. This is for the construction. This will pay for our debt service, the increase in operation and maintenance, and it'll reimburse MUB for out-of-pocket costs that we've spent for the project. Some of these costs, and we say reimburse MUB, they are not eligible to be refunded by the DEP Clean Water State Revolving Fund. So it's like the property and so forth. That's one of the expenses. So we have to cover that cost through the increase. Now, in working with our bond counsel, Tom Amon, he has, and I think very wisely, recommended that we advertise a not to exceed rate. That way, if bids do exceed the contractor's estimates, or if contractor bids exceed the engineering estimates, we plan to advertise a rate of $71.18 for 3,400 gallons usage. This would represent a 100% increase in rates, and that would provide an additional $3 million in contingency funds to absorb any overrun in the bid. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I have a question. If this is all approved tonight, it'll go to city council,
Yes.
and city council will have to make a decision regarding the increased rates.
Yes.
Do we know if they make a decision when those rates would go into effect?
I think Jeff has a schedule.
Okay.
The big picture wise, the rates will go into effect 45 days after passage.
Okay.
And that's a new rule that the legislature passed
Okay.
this past session.
Okay.
The question is timing when we present it to city council.
Yes.
What we're going to do first is, as Mike said, is present a not to exceed rate.
Mhm.
And that is because there's a project ordinance that city council has to take up first.
Mhm.
We don't anticipate opening bids until the end of September.
Mhm.
So at that point, we will have a definitive rate
Okay.
that we can then present to city council as in the form of a rate ordinance.
So if city council then approves it, then the new rates would go into effect 45 days after that.
After passage, correct.
Because I think a lot of people within that service territory would like to know when the increased rates would go into effect.
Our plan, as of today, is that we would bring the rate ordinance to city council in the first, third Tuesday of October.
Okay.
So we're talking about potentially end of December, the 1st of January.
Yeah, big, 1st of December.
Okay.
Right.
Amazing how long these things take.
And it's like tomorrow.
Yes.
And Jeff, do you know if council needs to vote on that twice to pass it, or is it a single vote?
It's
Sure.
it's a first reading and then second reading, public hearing.
Okay, so normal process.
Right.
And then 45 days.
Okay.
Okay. As part of our project, we are hiring Strand to provide construction phase services. As that would be like resident inspection. It's referred to as resident project representative services, project closeout services. There'll be we are anticipating about 30 progress meetings. There would be a monthly progress meeting. So if it's construction, it would be 2 years for the project and over probably. They've provided us with task order 24-04 in the amount of $3,250,000. We have reviewed the task order. I included a copy of that in your packet, and we do recommend that the board approve it.
Okay. So, do I have a motion?
Well, I have a question. When we did the Flagle Dam, we had an individual on site during the construction period to maintain an independent review of the construction on behalf of MUB.
Correct.
Will there be a similar type of person on
Yes.
site for that purpose?
Yes.
Is that included in the Strand? Or is
Yes.
that, okay, Strand would provide that. It
Yes.
wasn't clear to me when I read over it.
Yes.
Okay,
Strand will be providing that
Okay.
individual.
okay,
So this is the person that represents our interests.
Yes.
Right.
That's what we
On
get
the
for.
job.
right.
Okay, any other questions? Then I need a motion.
I move to approve task order number 24-04 with Strand Associates in an amount of $3,250,000 for construction phase services, resident project representatives, and project closeout services.
I'll second.
All right. Any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Anyone?
Aye.
Okay, no opposed, motion carries.
We also have a revised resolution this evening in your packet. I'm going to let Jeff explain that to the board and why it's revised.
So we did a resolution at the last meeting, essentially giving the chair and Mike authority to move forward with everything and sign all the documents necessary to move the project forward. Bond counsel came back and asked us to tweak it just a tad to make reference to the fact that there will be 2 bond issues. Typical combined utility bonds, and a second one which is $500,000 in forgivable bonds that's relating to the green aspects of the project. So there's a revised resolution in your packet to accomplish that little tweak.
Okay, discussions, questions? Everybody had a chance to read that? All right, then I need a motion to approve that resolution.
I move to approve the revised resolution recommending that City Council issue the combined system utility revenue bond series 2024A and 2024B, and authorizing the chair and general manager to execute such documents and take such actions as are necessary to finance and complete the project.
Second.
Oh,
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. West Ridge.
Okay, so we had a big day on July 24th. We opened a lot of bids. We opened bids on the West Ridge Chaplain Hill water and sewer projects. The first contract is the Mon River Directional Drill Waterline Project. This project consists of installing approximately 950 feet of 26-inch HDPE water line under the Mon River and 100 feet of 24-inch PVC water line. The lowest bidder was Snyder & Son, LLC, in the amount of $1,948,850. The certified bids are in your board packet. We do recommend the board approve their bid.
Okay, any questions or discussion? All right, then I need a motion to approve this, to approve the
I
bid.
move to approve the bid submitted by Snyder & Sons LLC for contract number 6-2023 in the amount of $1,948,850.
Okay,
I second.
all right. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. Now, Chaplain Hill water upgrade contract.
Yeah, so we have, next one is contract 8-2023. This is water system upgrade. This project consists of installing 16-inch HDPE water line, 16-inch PVC water line, 12-inch water line, 24 and 30-inch steel casing. The construction or upgrade of an existing booster to 1,330 gallon per minute would also include the purchase of a new emergency generator. The lowest bidder was Bear Contracting LLC in the amount of $1,992,695. A copy of the bids are in your packet.
Okay, questions? Discussion? All right, may I have a motion to approve the bid?
Move to approve the bid submitted by Bear Contracting LLC for contract number 8-2023 in the amount of $1,992,695.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded.
I second.
Thank you. All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. Now another contract.
All right, contract number 9-2023, Chaplain Hill Water Storage Tank. This is for the construction of one 741,000 gallon water storage tank. The lowest bidder was Mid-Atlantic Storage Systems Incorporated in the amount of $1,641,205. A copy of the bid is in your packet. It's staff's recommendation that the board approve it.
Okay, questions, discussion?
Just a question, is painting included under item number 5, the actual tank?
The tank will come painted,
Oh, okay.
and it's a bolted steel
Okay.
tank.
All right. May I have a motion to approve the bid?
I move to approve the bid submitted by Mid-Atlantic Storage Systems Incorporated for contract 9-2023 in the amount of $1,641,205.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor of approving the Mid-Atlantic Storage System, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. Another contract.
Yes, this is for the Chaplain Hills sanitary sewer system upgrade. This is contract 7-2023. The project consists of installing approximately 4,660 feet of 12-inch sewer line, 3,720 feet of 16-inch sewer line, and approximately 930 feet of 16-inch sewer line under the Mon River. There'll be 2 existing sewer lift stations that will be upgraded as part of the project. The lowest bidder was Anderson Excavating LLC in the amount of $4,553,206.85. It's our recommendation the board accept the bid.
Okay. Any discussion, questions regarding this? All right, may I have a motion?
I move to approve the bid submitted by Anderson Excavating LLC for contract 7-2023 in the amount of $4,553,206.85.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All right, motion carries. All right, on to Upper Pocono Run.
Yes, we also opened bids for Upper Pocono Run on the June 24th. This is for the Upper Pocono Run Stream Restoration and Sewer Line Replacement Project. This project consists of installation of 2,950 feet of gravity sewer line, 1,070 feet of storm sewer, the rehabilitation of the Upper Pocono Run stream that will include the planting of 207 trees. The lowest bidder was Loretta Incorporated in the amount of $3,228,528. Now, I want to inform the board that in the Loretta's bid, there was a typographical error for bid item number 32, clearing and grubbing. The lump sum bid was mistakenly written down as $88,183 when it should have been $352,732. We are recommending that the board waive this informality because it does not change the submitted bid total, nor does it change the outcome of the bid results. Both the certified bid and the submitted bid are included in your packet.
Any questions or discussion on that?
Did they catch the error, Mike, or did we catch it?
We caught the error.
I move to accept the bid submitted by Loretta Incorporated in the amount of $3,228,528 and waive the typographical error on bid item number 32.
Okay.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
So I do have a couple of other items to talk about with this project. Our subrecipient agreement with the city and county for the ARPA funds, it expired on June 30th. I've been in contact with Emily Mazzarelli about it, and I expect to see a revised agreement anytime. This project period is estimated to be 6 months, but the issue with this project, we can't start till the middle of November because of the bats. So we have to wait. And so you never know, you roll the dice, what kind of winter you're going to get. Look in your crystal ball. Maybe we'll have a mild, maybe it'll be severe. So hopefully, you know, a mild winter, they can work through it and we can finish up in May, but, you know, it could be as late as August to finish up. So it's just,
Just one question, while you're working, if you're working past the point at which the bats return, you don't have to stop working, keep working once you're going, right?
I think the trees will all be down by that time anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Gotcha.
And Mike, we landed on a date that worked. I saw the emails with you, yourself and Emily on the date with the ARPA funds.
I assume that we have. I haven't heard anything back otherwise.
Yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure it wasn't outstanding or anything.
I know the municipal league conference
Was last week, it just
so
ended, yeah.
getting caught up, I'm sure. So another issue we have is with Shorin, the Shorty Andersons. They've made a demand of $150,000 for a right-of-way. We offered $2,800 because that's what we've offered. That's what we paid for other easements. We've agreed to pave their parking lot and connect their downspouts as part of this project. Just their improvements alone are at $309,000. This cash demand is, we're not recommending that the board accept this demand. We are recommending that if we can't come to terms with what we've offered, then that portion of the project would just not be constructed. We've made arrangements for that in the contract. We hope that we can come to a agreement, but if we don't, that problem will not be fixed.
And that is a problem.
And it is a problem, but I think that you know, this is an opportunity of a lifetime to receive $2 million in grant funding for this project, and I hate to see it get away from us, but that demand is just too high.
And the time limits are real.
The time limits are real. We will, but once we start, we're going to break ground. We're going to move forward. And you're in or you're out at that point.
Okay.
So I just wanted to bring that to the board's attention, because if that work is not completed and that problem still exists, I want you to understand that we did our best to get the easement.
What is the impact downstream from that point if this project's not done at Shorty Anderson's?
I think, yeah, all the improvements downstream will be done, and it'll just affect that area right there. And as it runs off, it'll,
Flood the road?
It'll flood the road like it does today.
And if they don't agree to this, so we don't do that specific work, then the actual amount expended would be less than what we authorized.
Right, it would be $309,000.
There's no way that we would be able to come in after the fact and spend that money after the fact. It would take a totally different approach to funding that section.
And it would fall on Shorty Anderson's
Right.
funded.
Yeah.
When we signed the final adjusting change order at the end of the day of the project, when the project is finished,
Right.
and we sign that change order and we finalize project costs, it's over at that
Mhm.
point.
So any improvements would be their cost.
Yes.
Because it's a private system.
Right.
Shorty Anderson
Right.
owns it,
Right.
but we're willing to step in
Right.
and help them.
What's the timeline till we move forward and this is like no longer on the table?
Well, we expect that we'll have contracts signed and all the paperwork here in the next 3 or 4 weeks. And then we'll go ahead and order materials, and that unless we get the easement, they won't order those materials.
Right.
But, it's just, like I said, it's a 6-month contract period, so it'll go fast. So I'm hoping we can come to some resolution before the clock runs out.
So are we,
Yep,
definitely.
yep.
Okay, well, thank you for that update. All right,
Quick question. Is there not a way to adjudicate this, that typically if there's a inconsistency on what is the believed upon price for right-of-way and what is the desired price, that there is a legal remedy?
Well, there's always condemnation, but we're not recommending that to the board.
Well, if we did go with condemnation, that would just further delay this project. And
Well,
it's imperative that we get this project completed, given the pressures that we receive from
Yeah,
people
but
downstream who are affected by this problem.
Right, we know we have many problems in Upper Pocono, and this is to remedy that. And again, I think, as Dave just pointed out, we have to spend these funds by December 2026. They have to be gone, and we have a lot of accounting work that goes with this project, and so we need to move quickly.
okay. All right,
Yeah, and then my thought is, from what you've described, there is a very nice offer as far as the paving and storm drainage work that would be done on that property that, in my experience, would not be offered after it goes through the legal system. Given the situation that was happened at that particular parcel and to their customers during those two awful rainfalls back in 2021, I mean, it would be an absolute shame to cut that out of the project, and especially when we are well above what I think the court system would offer. What is the typical time frame to go through the court versus what we have to do to make sure that we get these upper funds in place and spent?
well, I'm going to be optimistic and hope that after our meeting and some further discussion, this will be resolved to everyone's satisfaction, and that this problem of the flooding will go away.
I just want to make sure we're not waiving our right to do this, because there is, I understand and appreciate everybody's concerns about what happens on or adjacent to their property, but this is something that impacted the entirety of Mon County, and it seems to be the site that has the most trouble during those two rain events. So I just want to make sure that stays on the table, because I think it would be an absolute shame for the city, the county, and MUB to come together and then leave the most important piece of the puzzle just sitting empty.
Will we give Shorand a letter indicating we need to know whether you're going to accept what we have provided you by a certain date, so we know definitively what?
We have a definitive response from them.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll keep us updated.
Yes.
All right, Morgan's Run water line extension.
So I think this is good news. The West Virginia Department of Environmental Protection, the Abandoned Minelands Group, they have found records of pre-1977 mining. And I believe they date back into the late 20s and early 30s. So there is a avenue now to which we can work with them to possibly get AML funding for water extension. And the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers are also accepting applications for water extensions in our district. And so we have to apply through the West Virginia IJDC, that's Infrastructure and Jobs Development Council. So we have put together an application, and it has been submitted. And so Corey Jones is our senior staff engineer leading that project, and I believe he was just in contact with the Corps this week. And so we're looking to see what they're all willing to do. They determine the grant amounts for the project, and so anything that they would not fund would be backfilled through an IJDC loan. But the AML money, not really sure what their timeline will be, but it's at least positive that we know pre-77 mining existed.
Do we have any indication what the cost estimate would be for this extension?
Yeah, it'll be right over 3 million. I think about 3.5 maybe is the number.
It's reasonable to expect for the AMWR funds to
I know in some cases they'll fund up, 80%,
Oh, wow, okay.
up to 80. It's just, I think it depends on the impact that they determine the mining has had on the community.
Gotcha.
And part of this project, there's a small water line that serves part of the area now that would have to be abandoned. We have to put in a larger line to serve the whole community.
And that's the water line that goes down to the lake.
Tom, I'm not exactly sure. I think it does, but I'm not 100%
That's
sure.
about the only thing I could think of.
So it's good news.
Yeah.
It's been a hot, dry summer, and I'm sure they've had a lot of issues with quantity and quality.
All right, some further good news.
Yeah.
EPA Brownfield grant.
Yes, so Reclaim Incorporated, they have mobilized onto the old Dinsmore tire site. They've been doing some grubbing. They've put in some temporary fencing to protect the work site. They understand that tomorrow they'll start asbestos abatement. Yes, thank you. I couldn't find the word there for a second. That will start tomorrow, and I believe the first building they plan to raise will be the old bicycle shop. And so progress has started, and that's great because there's no worse eyesore in Morgantown than that building.
Mm-hmm.
And we own it.
That we own. That we own, yes. All right, thank you. City of Westover, O&M agreement.
Yes, the staff of the Public Service Commission of West Virginia, they've issued their initial and final joint staff memorandum recommending approval of the agreement. So now we just wait.
All right.
That has to go to the Public Service Commission now for their final decision.
Yes, sir, it does.
Everything takes time.
The wheels of government grind slowly.
They do. But they grind fine, let's say.
Yes.
Okay. All right, you have a general manager's report now.
Yes, so US EPA Region 3 came to visit us last week. They started to do an inspection. They were able to get through the water treatment plant and all of our facilities there, and then had to leave before they could get to the distribution system. But we were very pleased to have them. So they just got an email this evening about some additional information they'd like to see, and I think at the end of the month we'll have their report will be finished, and we'll have we'll have our exit interview rather. I'm sorry. Then the report will come after that.
How often do these happen?
I think this is our first one.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it unannounced, or were you prepared? Or?
Well, we're always prepared.
Well, that's true. I shouldn't even question
Yeah.
that.
We are always
Yes,
prepared.
we're ready.
And so they gave us a few days because they had some requests for information they wanted to see on the front end before they arrived.
Okay, good. Next, good news again.
Yeah, another good news. Our John Edwards signs are up now. We have one up by at the reservoir, and the other one is down at the rail trail at the water treatment facility near the gazebo. So very excited to get that done. Jeremiah Johnson, he led that project for us, and he had some help. Some of the other engineers and technicians helped out, and so it was a good project, and they're in now. And they look very, very nice.
Good.
Last week, we collaborated with WVU, with their stormwater group, and cleaned out the pond at the Alumni Center. So,
Somebody called me and said MUB is stuck in the muck down at the pond. I go, no, they're helping. They're really helping.
stuck in the muck. All
Shut
right.
them up.
Well, Barbara, you never know. There could be some
I
truth
know.
to that.
Who knows?
No, I don't think so. We were, it was terribly hot, but the conditions were good, and I think the project went very well. I think we were out of there and, completely out in 4 days.
Wow.
So, less than 4 days, actually. So, yeah, it was a good project. It was a good joint project.
When a project like that is complete, Mike, like how much more volume are we able to capture in that area with that sediment removed?
I don't know the volume, Dave. I just know that the idea was they were going to take it back down to the original design.
Okay.
But I don't know the volume, and I do not know the amount of material that was taken out.
Well, it's nice to have a cooperative working relationship. I think those are really rewarding to the community and to the outcome of the project. So glad to see we're all working together.
Yeah, we do things together. We have a good relationship.
All right, so we're on to board member issues and discussions. It's your prerogative, board members, to bring anything up you would like to discuss.
I have an
Yeah, I just
item.
want to, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Eric. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to thank MUB, particularly Chris Dale and his team for the wonderful hazardous waste collection event that happened a couple weekends ago. I believe it was 670 cars that came through and a record-breaking event, and it leaves an untold number of bad things out of our water streams. And it's a great event that you guys do, so I wanted to thank you for all that work. And for taking things that previous owner of my home left behind as well.
So
Been there, done that.
This is personal for you, right? Very good. All right.
So I was speaking with Emily Mozzarella yesterday, and she just wanted me to put on the radar. So Raleigh Lane, there was some work that MUB was doing on Raleigh Lane with a new concrete box or something.
Yes.
So apparently there still are some issues that need to be addressed with regards to before that road can reopen. So there's currently a closed sign, but people can get around it by going through the Qdoba lot and continuing to drive on it. And so there needs to be a more permanent fix put in place. And so the city's looking to close that road, pull in the stakeholders, which would be the city, MUB, and I guess county even owns a little piece of that corner property, and WVU and Kroger, Qdoba, and it kind of relook at that road in terms of right now it's two-way traffic. Once it's fixed, does it need to be a line? Should it be one-way traffic? Should we try to help move it to more of a pedestrian right-of-way? So anyways, that's going to be, at some point in the next few weeks coming forward, as an opportunity to get together and look at that project with those stakeholders. So,
Be glad to.
All right. Anyone else? No? Okay. Do we have a motion to go into executive
Yes, I move to convene an executive session of the Board of Directors under the provision of West Virginia Code Section 6-9A-49 and 12 to discuss advanced construction planning and other confidential matters which are exempt from disclosure under the West Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and further move to adjourn the meeting at the conclusion of the executive session.
Do I have a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
All right, we will take a break here for about 10 minutes, and then we'll resume